This is the room that you guys are the most familiar with. This is where most of the videos happen. And so in here, I guess we'll start. There's the door we just came through. Bench, grinder, 110 volt welder, vise. My sink is on the other side of this wall, so I had water, so I put an old washing machine in here so I can wash rags. All these cabinets and everything. The cabinets are left over from a kitchen remodel. All that whole bench and cabinetry was all started with that toolbox. That's a Harbor Freight, just a general US General toolbox. I had some paint mixed at the hardware store that was close to the same color, so I painted the cabinets red. It's just standard pegboard back there that I spray painted silver to make it look kind of metal. Office remodel, supplied the cabinet there, the filing cabinet. I've got an oven. I do some powder coating stuff. That was a Craigslist buy, 20 bucks. Let's see, we got a bunch of bins and stuff over here. These drawers are really handy putting stuff together. I keep, I don't know, like here you got Christmas trees, interior screws, like body bolts and stuff, so these are really handy. They got nice lid charts in them, all my stuff in there, so that speeds up the process a lot whenever I'm doing a project. And so probably the centerpiece of the entire shop is that lift right there. I can pick a car up all the way as far as the lift to go and it won't hit the ceiling. Can't do that with a truck. It would run a truck right into the ceiling. I had to have a window dormer installed to make enough room for the lift to poke up in there. It pokes up between two rafters. And then there's a whole nother bay over here. So we'll go check that out. We have yet another garage door. I don't use that door very often. In here, I got a sandblast cabinet, and then it's just a bunch of parts and trans jack, cherry picker, just storage. We got a drill press hanging out right there. Got this roll around bench. This dude's on casters, so it moves pretty easily. Just a bunch of chemicals over there. So there it is. There's a tour of the shop. If you have a shop at home and you've got the ceiling height that will allow the lift, and you're kind of on the fence about whether or not to get one, my advice is get off the fence and buy the lift. I absolutely love it. I use it almost every day. I use it for so much more than lifting cars. It's unbelievable. You can pick up furniture with it. You pick up a heavy piece of furniture, back the truck in, set the furniture in the truck. Engines, transmissions. I pick that stuff up to put it on the engine stand, to put it up on the transmission jack, all that sort of stuff. I've used it I pull body panels with it. I rigged up ropes and chains and straps, and I pulled harmonic balancers off of engines with it. All kinds of things. Bench space. Bench space is always at a premium in any shop. I've taken a 4x8 sheet of plywood, you flop it down on the arms, hit the button, pick it up to bench height. Now you have a 4x8 bench. It is, hands down, it is the best purchase I've made for the shop. Another feature in the shop is heat and air. It's heated and cooled. You may be able to hear the air conditioner running in the background. So, like most of the guys out there doing this stuff as a hobby, yeah, I did my time. I did my time in the gravel. I did my time in a carport. I'm from one of the northern states. I'm from Montana. And I did my time outside in the cold, in the winter, in the weather, in a carport, eventually into a one-car garage that had no room. I've worked out of a garage at an apartment complex. I've worked out of a storage unit before. I did my time. And when I finally came time to buy a house, I was determined I was going to have a nice place to do the hobby. So heat and air, a pretty large space. The garage is about 1,200 square feet. So that's a big one, heat and air. organized the shop several ways throughout the years. In the beginning, I did it because it looked good a certain way, or it looked neat and tidy, and to a certain extent, I have moved away from that. The way it is laid out right now, I tried to make it as efficient as possible. Most of the work happens right in this area here in the lift bay at the front of the car. So that's why the toolbox is right here. That's why the wrenches hang up here. That's why that nest of drawers with my consumable parts, clips, nuts, bolts, that sort of thing. That's why all that stuff is right there. I wanted it to be as efficient as possible to try to cut down on my travel time from the car or whatever I'm working on to the toolbox, to the parts bin, that sort of stuff. I've gotten to the point in my life where my free time is limited, and so the amount of time that I spend out here in the garage, I really want that time to be as productive as possible. So that's why everything is laid out the way it is. I bought this tool cart to help aid in that productivity. This allows me to keep the tools that I use the most right there with me at the project. So that's what's in here, is all the really common stuff. I've got my 8 or 9 most common pair of pliers and needle nose and things up there. And then I've got 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch drive sockets and ratchets in this drawer. I found by putting the sockets and the ratchets all in the same drawer, again, it's more efficient because I don't have to open a drawer, get the socket, open a second drawer to get the ratchet. If you can combine those into one drawer, that'll speed it up a little bit. This is a tray that came with this tool cart. It's normally flipped over, and you just put storage in here. You put spray cans or whatever in here. I flipped it upside down, and I drilled a bunch of holes in it, and I put extensions in there. I keep some markers in there. I keep a 1/4 inch and a 5/16 nut driver for hose clamps in there. Again, just the really common things that I'm grabbing all the time. I want them to all be right here. Again, just trying to speed things up, trying to make my time in the garage that much more productive because my time is so limited anymore out here.